Everyone loves a good beat-em-up game that allows them to have a character melee fighting many enemies through a series of scripted encounters. It's cathartic and, honestly, just downright awesome. Today, we are going to be exploring 12 obscure beat-em-ups that you probably didn't know of. These hidden gems may not be as popular as hits like Golden Axe, Double Dragon, or Battletoads, but they are certainly extremely entertaining and worth checking out. Before we begin, I would like to ask everyone watching to like, share, and comment on the video. If you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to always get the latest Marvelous Gamers videos. With all that said, let's get started. Battle Circuit. First up on our list is Battle Circuit. This game was developed and published by Capcom for arcades in 1997. Set in the future year 20XX, the game centers around a team of 5 eccentric superpowered bounty hunters who must retrieve a valuable floppy disk. For our younger audience, floppy disks were an ancient form of storing information before the cloud and defeat the criminal gang that possesses it. The arcade cabinet for Battle Circuit provided support for up to 4 players at a time, with each player controlling one of the 5 possible characters. The character names were Cyber Blue, Captain Silver, Yellow Iris, Pink Ostrich, and a Venus flytrap-looking creature called Alien Green. The heroes must confront the disco-themed Delete Gang, who have acquired a computer disk containing a malicious computer program called the Shiver System. Battle Circuit features 7 main levels, plus a final boss battle. After the final boss battle, the ordinary ending sees the group hand the disk over to their employer, Harry. But if you manage to get a high enough score, you and your friends are given the option to fight a secret boss, the living embodiment of the Shiver System itself, the Master Program. Defeating this powerful entity earns you a bigger reward. The game was a hit, garnering praise for the unique characters, cyberpunk theme, and absurd humour, making it the perfect game to start our list with. Armored Warriors. Following up after that, at number 2 is another hit from Capcom. Armored Warriors was developed and published in 1994 by Capcom for arcades. Did you know the game was called Powered Gear Strategic Variant Armor Equipment in Japan? The plot is set in the far-off year of 2281, where the United Earth Government and the Principalities of Raya finally agree on a ceasefire treaty to end a war dating back half a century. However, just a year later, a scouting party finds that the Raya capital is captured by their own army captain, Azrael, who has converted himself into a cyborg. The United World Forces launch a mission to rescue the Raya Principality. However, their intention was not to save Raya, but rather to subject them to new management. As soon after the war is won against Azrael, the United Earth Force establishes a permanent station at Raya, and soon brings it under Earth's control. Now, where have I seen this before? The gameplay focuses on battling with customizable mechs. You could change the parts of your mech from limbs to weapons. The co-op allowed for 3 players to play at once and control any of the 4 pilots: Rash, Justice, Grey, and Siren. Each mech had its own pluses and drawbacks. The game was praised for its fast, aggressive, and frantic gameplay, and for its replayability. The Combatribes. Moving on to number 3 is the Combatribes, a beat-em-up game released by Techno Japan Corp for arcades in 1990. The game's story has the Combatribes, 3 cyborg vigilantes who fight multiple street gangs to take down their corrupt organisation. The trio consists of Berserker, the blonde, blue and balanced fighter, Bullover, the flat-top bully. He is the strongest but slower of the fighters. And Blitz, the ponytail prancer, while he is the fastest, he lacks the strength of the other fighters. Did you know, due to an error in artwork, the colours for Blitz and Bullover are switched in the popular leaflet of the arcade version of the game? Combatribes takes place in futuristic New York City, where the heroes discover that the various street gangs have united under the umbrella of a single powerful criminal syndicate. There are 5 gangs to be defeated, each being a level on its own. After defeating the 5 gangs, the final battle is a boss rush against all the previous gangs while chasing a big crime boss in the harbour. But when you finally corner him, he is killed by the female cyborg Martha Splatterhead, the former member of the Combatribes, who then becomes the final boss. After defeating her in the arcade version, the Combatribes leave her behind on the dock, but in the Nintendo port, they take her with them to save her. While the story was pretty bleak, the game redeems itself with its action-packed gameplay. Arabian Fight. Next, for number 4, we are going on a trip to Arabia. Arabian Fight is a multi-plane side-scrolling beat-em-up developed and published by Sega in 1992 for arcades. Now, if you're thinking this game was inspired by the 1992 Disney animated movie Aladdin, you would be wrong. Arabian Fight was actually inspired by The 1001 Nights and released before Aladdin even previewed. In the game, the evil Sheikh Sazabis kidnaps Princess Lorana and plans to sacrifice her to the gods to gain superpowers to take over the world. To rescue Princess Lorana, you play as one of Sinbad, Ramaya, Goldor and Datta, and have to fight Sazabis's loyal army of pirates, swordsmen and monsters. The game allows for 4 players to play at once in co-op multiplayer. Gameplay involved kicking, punching and throwing your opponents to collect items, gain health and gain extra points as you progress through each of the game's 7 stages. The locations of the game shift all the way from Arabia to India. The game has elements of magic and spells in it, so in addition to punching up bad guys, your character can shout, "Take this magic," and just eviscerate all opponents. Very imaginative, the game's graphics and parallax scrolling were popular with the critics, though the gameplay was criticised for being too derivative. Sengoku 3. Next, at number 5, we have the third and final entry in the Sengoku series. Sengoku 3 was developed by Noise Factory and published by SNK in 2001. In the game, you control one of the 4 members of a ninja clan who have to dispatch an evil entity before he is released. The 4 playable characters each come with their respective strengths and weaknesses. Kagasutra is the most balanced fighter. Falcon specialises in combos. Kurenai is the fastest but lacks durability. Kongo is the most powerful fighter but is the slowest. After clearing the first 3 stages, the team confronts 2 new boss characters, Okuni and Bayaki. Upon defeating them, they join forces with you and become playable characters upon reselection. The game ups the production levels of its predecessors and has a very distinctive look to it. It removes previous elements like weapons acquisition, transformations, and dimensional warping. The gameplay is highly complex and boasts an incredibly enjoyable combat system. The game was considered to be the best installment of the series by the critics and is regarded as one of the finest beat-em-ups of all time. Undercover Cops. Next up, it's a futuristic 5.0 cult classic at number 6. Undercover Cops was developed and published by Irem in 1992 for arcades and was Irem's first attempt in the beat-em-up genre. The game is set in a post-apocalyptic 2043 where crime has taken over NYC. Desperate, the mayor appoints the City Sweepers, a special unit to go undercover and clean up the city. Your 3 playable options are Zan, the balanced character, Matt, the strongest but slowest, and Rosa, who is the fastest but conversely, the weakest. Did you know that in the North American version of the game, Zan, Matt and Rosa were known as Claude, Bubba and Flame, respectively? You must fight your way past waves of weird, mutated enemies and 5 bosses until you meet the main antagonist of the game, Dr. Crayborn, who transforms into a giant monster for the final boss fight. The enemies range from your regular muscle-headed goons to mole creatures and mutants with jetpacks and blades for hands. Unlike traditional games, you must eat mice, frogs, birds and snails to restore your health. The game was highly successful, both critically and commercially. It was especially well received in Japan, where it got its own manga published by Shinsisha, and later, an exclusive Game Boy spin-off. Ninja Baseball Batman. Lucky number 7 is another game from Irem. Ninja Baseball Batman was published in 1993. When a criminal breaks into the Baseball Hall of Fame and steals 7 priceless artifacts, the baseball commissioner enlists a team of ninja baseball players to recover them. The ninjas are Captain Jose, Twin Bats Rhino, Beanball Roger, and Stick Straw. The ninjas were inspired by the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Batman films by creator Drew Maniscalco. The mission is to travel across the United States, fighting through various stages like Seattle, San Francisco, and Las Vegas, fighting waves of bizarre baseball-themed enemies like anthropomorphized gloves and bats. Each boss battle won earns the team one of the stolen items. The final boss is a mechanical version of the Sultan of SWAT himself, Babe Ruth. There is a surprise twist in the game when the thief is revealed to be none other than the baseball commissioner himself. The end of the game is really funny as the team launches the commissioner into space. Ninja Baseball Batman has you primarily use baseball bats to fight the enemies, duh! There are many interactive elements and a colourful, goofy art style. Despite being one of the top arcade hits of Japan and selling quite well there, the game unfortunately sold poorly in North America, which would lead to it being forgotten over time. The game is still a fantastic play and is a proper treat for those who discover it. Shadow Force. Moving on to number 8. Shadow Force was an insanely hard 2D game developed by Technos. The plot centres around an organisation called Teaser that's led by the main antagonist, Dr. Wong. The 4 playable heroes set out to stop him and save all of humanity. You play as either the Ninja Kai, the Sword Fighter Brunette, Mr. Muscleman Tengu, or Beastman Coyote, which is undoubtedly the coolest name ever. The game blends traditional brawling with transformation mechanics, where you can temporarily turn into one of the enemies you defeat. There are multiple stages, ranging from forests to chemical plants. In the 4th stage, you fight a giant monster called Lucifer, who, upon his defeat, swallows you whole. The 5th stage is within the monster itself. The final boss is revealed by Dr. Wong to be the Biomother, whom he kept within the monster Lucifer itself, weirdly. Along the way, you fight soldiers, samurai, weird shape-shifting blobs, and other monster bosses. Your health can be replenished by consuming food. The game gained attention for its innovative fighting mechanics, including the possession mechanic. Unfortunately, unlike Techno's other triumphs, like Double Dragon and Renegade, Shadow Force was not as commercially successful. Now appreciated as a rare and creative arcade title, Shadow Force remains a standout example of Technos Japan's creativity during the 90s. Denjin Makai 2, or Guardians. At number 9 is a game that was released exclusively as an arcade game. Guardians, Denjin Makai 2, as it was known internationally, was developed by Winkysoft and published by Banpresto in 1995. With no real plot, the game is more focused on its expanded, over-the-top combat and diverse roster of 8 playable characters, each with a large moveset. The characters are Zeldia, a winged humanoid, Jinrei, a ninja, Skullbeal, a mutant dinosaur-like creature, Garulian, a martial artist, Kurakishi, a policewoman who specialises in kicks, Rue, a wizard, Tulks, a wizard, and P. Belva, a robot. Quite the variety of characters, I'll say. The game's character designs blend superhero tropes with cyberpunk elements, and there are more moves per fighter than most any other brawl game. The game supports co-op for up to 2 players. As it was never ported to a home console, it is a very valuable collectible, and if you do manage to play it, well, you, my friend, will be one of a select handful to do so. Denjin Makai 2 is considered a criminally overlooked game in the beat-em-up genre, and was actually praised a lot for its combat system and mechanics during its exclusive stint in the Japanese markets.
Metamorphic Force!
Metamorphic Force. For number 10, it's time to go beast mode. Metamorphic Force was developed and published by Konami in 1993 and was one of Konami's last entries in the beat-em-up genre for arcades. In the game, the evil King Death Shadow has risen to conquer the world. The Greek goddess of warfare, Athena, responds by summoning the souls of 4 ancient guardians and bestowing their power upon 4 modern-day heroes to fight back against this threat. These heroes can temporarily assume the beast forms of the Guardians by picking up golden statues of Athena in the game. The heroes are Ban, who can turn into the Minotaur, Claude, who turns into a white werewolf, Max, who turns into a werepanther, and Ivan, who turns into a werebear. The 4 heroes invade Death Shadow's island fortress to banish the evil entity for good. The island holds many weird monsters like lizardmen, frogmen, and boarmen. The bosses include a goat-like demon and a flaming chicken man. Did KFC sponsor this game? While in beast form, your character moves faster, jumps higher, and deals more damage. You can also grab and attack enemies up close. The beast form lasts until a meter underneath your health bar runs out. The arcade game supported up to 4 players simultaneously. The game was immensely popular for its bright aesthetics and is considered a cult classic. Zero Team. Next up, at penultimate number 11, is Zero Team. The game was released by Seibu Kaihatsu in 1993. The plot, or lack thereof, had you playing as one of 4 characters to rescue a kidnapped woman from a group of evil ninjas. The character names were Ace, Speed, Spin, and Big O. The game spanned 6 stages, from urban areas to a Japanese castle and an underground base. The game allowed you to pick up and throw various background objects, such as barrels and crates, at enemies. An unusual mechanic for its time, you could only throw weapons dropped by enemies like spears and knives. You could, however, use a dropped rocket launcher. Quite the arsenal, that isn't it? The game's dynamic artificial intelligence was considered advanced for its time, and enemies used seemingly randomized and unpredictable attacks against your character. One mechanic the game had, which was pretty cool, was that you could attack random civilians in fights. You couldn't kill them, and they would scamper away after getting beaten up. But it was a funny little addition in my opinion. The game was actually extremely hard to emulate due to encryption issues, and, as a result, a port of the arcade game was nearly impossible to create till around 10 years ago. Zero Team was never a monumental hit like its contemporaries, but over time, and with the help of re-releases on modern consoles, it has garnered more and more followers. Mother Russia Bleeds. Finally, at number 12, we are going straight into the heart of the bear. Mother Russia Bleeds was developed by Le Cartel Studio and published by Devolver Digital, set in an alternate 1980s Soviet Union that is ruled by the Russian mafia. You play as one of the 4 Ruska Romani, Sergei, Natasha, Ivan and Boris, who work for a man named Mikhail and make money by street fighting in the slums. Kidnapped by the government, the group wakes up in a research facility and finds out they've been subjects to an addictive drug known as Necro. The game aims to conjure up anxiety, unease, and a drug-addled frenzy as you fight your way through guards and scientists, only to find yourself embroiled in a revolution against a corrupt government, which leads you on a violent quest to fight back against the powers that be to uncover the conspiracy. The gameplay is a throwback to the classic beat-em-ups of the 90s, where characters can punch, kick, and grab. There are a number of weapons, like bottles and guns, which offer different attack options and damage outputs. The drug Necro can be used to refill your health and allows you to enter a temporary, drug-fueled berserk mode, where your strength and speed are enhanced. The game received mixed reviews, but if you want old-school game mechanics with next-gen graphics, this is the game for you. Marvelous verdict, and that was our list. What did you make of it? Which games did you know of already? Which hidden gem would you like to play? Have we missed any games? Comment them down below. As always, please like, share, and comment on the video. Be sure to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to be the first to be notified of all things marvelous. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.